Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so two more players to talk about as we do every 2 days or so. Second round guys are plentiful, as there are only going to be 60 players taken total in the draft, 30 taken in the second round, but you need to know more than 30 in the second round in order to have an understanding of what would be the best option for teams. So let's keep going. We got two guys to talk about that I'm pretty excited about, guys that I didn't expect to be excited about. Gillespie and Lipsy. Both of these guys are 6'1", Gillespie being 182 pounds, Lipsy being 200 pounds. Let's talk about Tamin first. Lipsy, to me, when they said he was 6'1", I had my questions. Because to be completely and open and honest with you guys, he looks like he suffers from dwarfism. Maybe not in the height, but in his arms. He looks like there may be some of that in his genetic makeup. But it works. It works because he's an excellent passer. It works because he's fast and strong. It works because to the eye test he can shoot, even though the numbers tell you he's not the greatest three-point shooter. He can shoot some. And his assist-to-turnover ratio is staggeringly good. His steals ratio is staggeringly good. He stole the ball more than anyone in Iowa State history. He was able to break that record this year as a senior, 22 years of age. He'll be having a birthday right after the draft, maybe the day after the draft, 22.99 draft age. So yeah, I think his birthday is probably the next day. And Tamin is nice, man. Tamin is nice. Now, when I first saw him, and I glanced upon him, and I saw the arms, and I saw the shoulder, and I was like, okay, he's not going to be taken seriously. That was the first thing I said. The first thing I thought was, that's not going to work. But then I watched the highlights of his senior year, of his junior year, watched some stuff in high school, and I'm like, yo, this dude is a gifted basketball player. And some of his deficiencies he's able to utilize, and it allows for him to be very special on the basketball floor. For example, there was a play that he made where I think he had fallen to the ground, which I think probably gets called a travel in the NBA, but I guess in college it didn't. He was getting double teamed, he fell to the ground, and from the lowest possible angle, he was able to dart off one of the most fantastic passes that I've seen in my highlights in watching in this process. He is a very, very gifted playmaker. He is a very strong body, low center of gravity, and he just makes plays that you just don't realize can be made. Sort of like another player that we've done homework on very recently in this draft, who kind of had some of that similar gift that I was really excited about, Jack Kyle. Lipsy is another one of those guys like Jack Kyle. They have some of the similar strengths. And I walk away from Lipsy saying if somebody gives him a chance and he gets into the right situation, he can be a game buster. I think of a guy like Jose Alvarado, who's playing in the NBA Finals right now for the New York Knicks. I think of a guy like Muggsy Bogues back in the day. Disruptive dudes, not the biggest, and he's actually not short. He's 6'1", they say, although I have my questions about that. But like he is a smaller guy, and there will be times where he's going to get targeted on the defensive end. Obviously, they're going to try to exploit his size and try to shoot over him. But he's going to make up for it by the game buster plays that he makes. His coach was quoted saying that there are certain plays that he calls Tamin plays, because the only person on his team who could do these plays are Tamin. And that's essentially what I'm telling you. This is a very special basketball player, because he has a very high IQ. He is somebody who looks unique to himself, but he's also the best player on the floor 9 out of 10 times. That's what it really showed me. Like college basketball, he played with Jefferson. He played with Momcilovic at Iowa State, and he was the best player on the floor. He was the one running everything. He was the one that they went to get the buckets. He was the one they went to in a lot of situations. He's faster than most players that you're going to find in this draft. He has better passing gift than most players you're going to find in this draft. He steals the ball better than most players you find in this draft. He is very, very different. And the eye test tells you that this is somebody who's going to create a lot of havoc at the next level. The question is, are people going to look at him and not give him a chance? Because they're immediately going to look at him and say, okay, this guy is not going to be able to cut it. This body is not going to cut it in the NBA. But that player, once you see what he can do, and you sit there and you really watch enough of his tape, you're like, oh, this is actually the opposite. This is somebody who, if you give him a chance, he's going to bust things up on both sides of the floor. He's going to make the play that gets others better, and on the defensive end, he's going to come up with the basketball. Some players just come up with the basketball. Like, how the hell did he get that pass? How the hell did he steal that ball? And I'm telling you, just looking at the overall landscape of the NBA, more of those guys are coming into this league via this second round right now. I don't know if, in the second round, there's a certain stereotype that second round guys are going to play in the G. There's certain stereotypes of second round guys don't have to be taken seriously. They're probably going to be out of the league in 5 years. I don't know if that stereotype is going to hurt this class of players. But as I dig into this second round, I can't tell you how many players specialize on the defensive end that may also have bodies that ultimately you would think you can exploit on the defensive end. Guys who are going to be targeted, but also guys who are going to take the ball from your players. And Tamin Lipsy fits that mold. He is going to take the ball from some people in the NBA, and sometimes they don't need him to do so. Guys who are going to try to take care of the basketball in crunch time situations, Tamin Lipsy is going to come out of nowhere on a double team, and he's so fast, and his hands move so fast, his arms move so fast, that you're going to have the ball gone, and guys are going to be in midair. I saw him steal the ball from a guy who thought he was going for a layup. This man, he thought he was going for the layup. Tamin was already halfway down the court before the guy even touched the ground. Like, this is the type of guy Tamin Lipsy is. He's very, very special, man. Muggsy Bogues type, like, special. As in, if you put him out there, people are going to think he can't. And he's going to show them not only can he do it, but he's probably better than them at it. I think of a guy like Isaiah Thomas, Celtics Isaiah Thomas. Tamin Lipsy has some of that in him. You're gonna look at him and say no until he shows you. He's gonna show you. I have a lot of faith in Tamin Lipsy. I've watched enough basketball over the years to understand that certain anomalies come around that just make you have to rethink your entire way of doing things as it pertains to this league and how you view small players. If Tamin Lipsy is given an opportunity on a big level, he can be somebody that helps with that process to where you're gonna say, okay, well, yeah, let's give a guy like this a chance. And then you start realizing, this guy is important. He's a winner. He's going to do winning things. We've talked about that type of thing lately with Brown from Duke. He does winning things, comes up with the ball, timely possessions, things like that. Defensively, he's stealing the ball in the crunch, that kind of stuff. I said that about Con Knipple last year when I was doing homework on him out of Duke. Come up with the ball, timely situations, going to do the little things that ultimately help your team win, going to be on the winning team because of the little things he's did. Tamin Lipsy is that. He's exactly that. He's going to do the winning things. He's won at every level he's played on. And, you sometimes you just look at guys and you say, man, you are the exception. I think Tamin Lipsy is the exception. When you see him, you're like, no, that's not going to work. Come on, stop playing with us. Until you see him and you realize, so these things are actually strengths. You're like, his body type allows for him to do things that nobody else can do. It's pretty awesome, man. I enjoyed watching Tamin Lipsy. I saw a little excerpt of a guy, a YouTuber who was saying that his team was checking out Tamin Lipsy, doing a pre-draft workout on Tamin Lipsy, and he said he see a second round guy, nothing special there. And if you look at the first 3 minutes of his highlights, you'll be like, yeah, that's probably the way he's a second round guy, of course. A senior, some limitations with the body. Yeah, he's going in the second round. But he's also somebody who, once you put him on the floor, you put the ball in his hands and suddenly other people are better. On the defensive end, suddenly he's taking the ball. You coming up with extra possessions because of his steal ability, getting down the floor all fast. He doesn't mind driving at the rim. He's finishing pretty well. Let's dig into the stats here, man. Per 36 minutes, he averaged 15.4 points, 1.8 turnovers, which is positive. The 15 points is not what they would expect based on the shooting. But 1.8 turnovers is really, really good for a passer. 2.6 steals, which is pretty much the best Iowa State has ever had. He doesn't block shots. You don't expect him to. Short arm, short guy. Not happening. But 5.8 assists, I think you can up that depending on the opportunities he's given. He's a gifted passer and a gifted playmaker. 4.5 rebounds. 65% from the free throw line. He's going to have to get better there. You can't be 65% from the free throw line, period. He's got to up that to about 75%. He needs to improve dramatically from the free throw line, or this ain't going to work out. So that's where I say he really, really hurts himself. Being a subpar free throw shooter? No, sir. Got to get better. 31% from the three-point arc. Solid volume, though, so I think he can improve there. The shot does look like it can fall throughout the course of a game. I think again, the arm limitations probably can get in the way. You talk about going up against some of these lengthy dudes, you're not going to want him on the floor with some of these people, you know what I mean? But in second and third units, yeah, he's going to cook. He's going to cook a lot. 45% from the field goal range, which is pretty solid. His true shooting is .540, which is a little under what you would want it to be. Effective field goal percentage, .516, pretty average there. 3-point attempt rate, .363, which is where you want it to be, average. Free throw attempt rate, .333, average. His 3-point NBA percentage would be .335. It's a little below average. Assist usage percentage, 22.1. Did I have that right? Usage rate, excuse me. Estimated of percent of team plays when used by a player on the floor. So 22.1. Assist to turnover ratio, usage rather, is good, 1.27, and assist to turnover ratio is great, 3.33. His advanced stats PER, 20.9. Offensive win shares, 0.112. Defensive win shares is a very positive, 0.097. So that's really positive. Win shares per 40, 0.210. Offensive rating is good, 122.9. Defensive rating is good, 96.3. Offensive box plus minus 5.5. Defensive box plus minus 5.8, which is well above average. And his box plus minus 11.3, solid. Very, very, very good. So, yeah, man, the advanced stats love this guy. Assist to turnover stuff, defensive stuff, offensive and defensive. He's doing good things on both sides of the floor. Good things are happening down there. Defensively, he is making your team a lot better just because he's stealing the damn ball all the damn time. All the time. I'm telling you. Like in the highlights, half of what he was doing was taking the ball from someone and getting down the court to lay it up. So I'm telling you, like, this is going to be a guy, like I said, you're going to look at him and you're going to say, okay, this is not an NBA guy. But you watch the highlights and you realize, no, this is actually somebody who's going to really thrive in the next level if given the right opportunity. Because what he does, in my opinion, is going to translate very well to the two other levels. So that's really what I say. I think that will he be exploited on the defensive end? Of course. But is he going to make up for it on defensive possessions as well? Of course. Like that's pretty much what it is. He is definitely going to make up for it. And like I said, he makes others better. So this is somebody that I would really like as a specialty player. You know, as I say about Jose Alvarado, do I want Jose Alvarado to be my main backup point guard? No. But do I feel comfortable that Jose Alvarado can roam within my rotation? Yes. I can find ways of utilizing Jose Alvarado in certain situations. I can find ways of using Tamin Lipsy in certain situations as well, for certain. So it's just about overcoming the notion that, okay, this is a limited basketball player physically. And then understanding that, you know what, he can get off the ground. It's not like he's a below average athlete. So, like, you've seen him dunk the ball and stuff like that. He can get up. He's really fast, super fast. And he's a brilliant player. You know, he's very smart. And his passing timing is really good. His passing accuracy is really good. His rhythm in things that he does on the floor is really good. His timing is impeccable defensively, stealing the ball. And he's a very, very gifted basketball player. And when you see him out there, you realize, okay, this guy's special. He's special. That's really what comes to mind. So I really like Tamin Lipsy a lot. I understand his limitations. I don't believe he'll be a starter necessarily, or somebody you can leave on the floor in the modern era for too long because, again, they're just going to try to target him and all of that. But you would be wise to be careful when you do because of what it is that he's capable of defensively. So that's really what it comes down to, man. Definitely a fan of Tamin Lipsy. I overcame my eye test biases and stuff like that and realized, this guy can do things that 99% of the league is not going to be able to do based on his unique body type and his overall strength. So, yeah, I like Tamin Lipsy. I'm not a fan of 6'1" guards in general, but this one is cool. Really cool player to watch highlights of. Really cool player to find out about, man. And I think he would be a steal in certain situations. I don't know if he gets drafted. Who knows? But as an undrafted guy, he's going to be a steal. As a guy in the G League, he's going to be a star. As a guy overseas, he's probably going to be the best player on the floor. So that's really what it comes down to. He's going to thrive in basketball. And, he won me over. All right, let's get to the next guy. Another small guard that I'm even more excited about. Good. Gillespie is really, really good, man. Really, really good. Let's get into it. Jacoby Gillespie, projected to go a little higher than what you would expect. He's kind of middle second round guy at 6'1", 182. This is a guy who thrived in football early on. In fact, he was trying to get scholarship to Tennessee to play football, and it never came around, so he just decided to go to basketball. But he said in an interview that I watched that, he loved basketball, but he would have went to Tennessee for football if they would have given him an offer. He had gotten offers from other teams, other schools for football, and just decided to go the basketball route. So this is a real athlete, high conditioned athlete, one of the best conditioned athletes in this entire draft, in my opinion. Jacoby Gillespie can get off the ground. He's fast as hell. Of course, with the 6'1", 182 weight, he's limited, but he's extremely strong. So you're talking about 182, all muscle, quick twitch, all of that is really, really high level. Out of Greenville, Tennessee, 22 years of age on draft day. So he's a senior. He's done 4 years of college. First 2 years were with Belmont. His third year, he went to Maryland and played with Derek Queen. He was Derek Queen's main guard, and they played off each other very well. I didn't watch highlights of that, but I wish I did. And then he played with Tennessee for his final year, where he really broke out and did some fantastic things for Tennessee. So, 6'4" wingspan. They do have his combine stuff, unlike Lipsy. 6'4" wingspan, 7.11.5 reach. So 7-foot wingspan, 6'4" wingspan, actually 7-foot standing reach. 9.5 hand width, so a pretty big hand there. 8.0 hand length, not long hand, but wide hands, and he's used them well. 3.12 on the sprint, which is good. 2.91 on the shuttle, which is good. 10.95 on the lane drill, which is average, and 39.5-inch vert. This guy can fly. But he's only 6'1", so he's not like... It doesn't look the same as a guy who's 6'8", who has a 39-inch vert. But Jacoby Gillespie can get off the ground. That's the bottom line. This guy can get off the ground. This is a plus athlete for certain. He averaged 19 points per 36 minutes, 2.4 turnovers, which is good, 2.2 steals, which is good. Another one of these little dudes is going to take the ball from you. 0.2 blocks, probably not going to block too many shots. 5.6 assists, so he gets others involved. 2.9 boards, you'd like him to rebound better. 81% free throw shooter, definitely pleased with that. .338 3-point percentage, which can be better. 41% from the field, which can be better. His true shooting numbers, .538. That's improvable. Effective field goal percentage, .501. Average there. 3-point attempt rate, .539. So he definitely takes a lot of threes, shooting 33% on very high volume from behind the arc. So you like that. Free throw attempt rate doesn't get to the line as much as you would like him to, .247. And his NBA 3-point percentage is .383, which is above average. So the distance from three is good. The volume is good from three. And as a smaller guy, you want him to shoot threes, but he doesn't have any problem driving at people either. You would like him to get to the line more for that, but he does finish pretty well for the most part. Assist usage percentage 26.9. His usage percentage is 26.9. His assist usage is 1.12. And his assist to turnover ratio is 2.36. So he takes care of the basketball, he gets off his assist, and doesn't turn it over very much. Advanced stats, his PER is 20.3. His offensive win shares 0.121. Defensive win shares 0.068. Win shares per 40 0.190. Offensive rating 122.0, which is good. Defensive rating 104.4, which is a little below average there. Offensive box plus minus 6.4, defensive box plus minus 4.5, and box plus minus total 10.9. So this is a pretty good player. You know, his weakness, of course, is his draft age and his rebounding. His field goal percentage could be better, but the eye test tells you that he finishes very well. As an athlete, he has no problem driving at the rim. Free throw attempt rating, you want to get better, draw some contact, but he's shooting a lot of threes, and that's kind of how they had it set up at Tennessee. Very gifted passer, very nice defensive player. He steals the ball. He's very, very strong. 9 out of 10 times he's going to be better conditioned than the athlete he's going up against, and the strength really is evident in how he moves. I really appreciated how well he created space. His crossover is deadly. His ball handling is deadly. And that's something that they don't talk about in these stats. But this is somebody who's going to use footwork and ball handling ability and absolute and utter lightning speed to break down guys in front of him. He is nearly impossible to stay in front of, is essentially what I'm telling you. You're going to have to put an elite defensive player on him to stay in front of this guy. He is quick, fast, and well-conditioned. We're talking about somebody who, you know, can be a blur. If he develops into what I think he could become, you're talking about De'Aaron Fox light with a shorter body, of course. You're talking about Tyrese Maxey light type stuff. Like, this is a real deadly scorer. He also potentially, once he gets himself together, he could be a deadly scorer because he's going to be very difficult to defend. He compared himself to people like Jose Alvarado as well. I don't see that with him. I know he's a smaller guy, and when you start talking about how you can stay in the league as a smaller guy, you want to start comparing yourself to people like that. If you're a second-round guy, that's what your idea of what you believe your role could be. But to me, I saw someone else. Who was it that I said I saw? I don't remember who I said I saw there. But, you know, he's lightning fast, very good footwork, very nice speed demon on the offensive end. Defensively, he held up strong, stealing the ball. Of course, just like Lipsy, he's going to be shot over. You can count on Gillespie having issues with that and targeted defensively, just like they always do in the NBA, try to get these little people off the floor. But again, just like Lipsy, he's going to make up for it, stealing the ball and just playing at a high level. But I can't remember who I said I compared him to, man. He looked like somebody very specific to me, and that is just not coming to mind right now. I don't know who it was, but this is a player that I thought was a much higher level, smaller guard that went crazy in spurts. So that's really what it is. I'm high on Jacoby Gillespie. I think this guy could potentially be an early second-round draft pick, just because of the athleticism, man. The athleticism and the speed, the way that he moves. You could tell some people just move different based on their high-level athleticism. You know what I mean? They don't have to work too hard to get to their spots. People have to work very hard to keep up with them. This is a natural-born athlete with a whole lot of strength to his body. He's been, you know, that athleticism, that physicality that comes from being a natural-born football player really shines in this player. Having a football background really, for some guys, it's like they don't necessarily translate well to the NBA because they're a bit erratic when they play football. They're a bit overly physical. Jacoby Gillespie's football days really helped him as a basketball player because it puts him in a different type of conditioning for strength training and physicality. And I think that that's what really makes him a little different for me. Is just understanding that, yo, this is a physical player. Was it Allen Iverson? I don't think it was Allen Iverson I was comparing him to, but when I think about just the football playing days, Allen Iverson, and how well he took punishment in the NBA consistently, like just massive amounts of punishment. That's one thing that a lot of people don't understand about AI, who didn't watch him, people who are too young to watch him. AI was getting clobbered by people like Shaquille O'Neal, driving at the rim. He would get hit so hard and bounce right back up because he was used to that playing quarterback. And so I think Gillespie has some of that in him to where you can have him repeatedly drive at the rim more so than average players his age, or rather his height, because of that football background, because of the likelihood to be physical, because of the strength. He should be able to finish through contact. Jacoby Gillespie and Lipsy, and I forgot to say this about Lipsy as well. He finished very well through contact. They are both very strong players for their size. So that's something I want to say about both of these guys. I saw a number of plays where both of them finished through contact, kept their balance and finished despite being hit in midair. So I think that's something that they both have very, very unique to themselves, both of these guys. But yeah, I cannot remember who the hell I was comparing Gillespie to, man. It's frustrating me because I had a good comparison. He looked just like this player too. It's just not coming to mind. But yeah, man, I'm high on Gillespie. I think Gillespie you would expect to be a higher level than Lipsy, but I think they're kind of both similar in the strengths and weaknesses that they have. They're both 6'1". They're both very strong. They're both good passers. They both drive at the rim and can finish. They're both very capable of stealing the ball on the defensive end. I think where they separate is Taman is a good athlete. Jacoby is an excellent athlete. Jacoby is a multi-sport athlete who you would expect could be able to be lightning quick, get to his spots, use footwork and dribbling ability, crossover ability to get past anybody that's not a fantastic defender. You're going to have to put fantastic point of attack defense on this guy to keep him off you, or to keep in front of him, rather, because he's going to shake off average defenders. And in second unit and third unit situations, a lot of teams are not going to have that player. And Jacoby's going to eat. He's going to get his teams back in basketball games. They're going to be down by 12. You're going to put Jacoby in the game, and he's going to cook whoever's in front of him with his three-point ability and with his quick twitch ability to get past people. And so that's what I see there. This is a special athlete that I think translates to the NBA very well. You wish these guys were 6'4", 6'5", because at that point they would be a lot more coveted in this draft. But they are 6'1", and you have to live with that. But I'm telling you, both of these players, they bring a lot of different things to both sides of the floor. That's what it really comes down to. And if you can get over the fact that they're going to be targeted like any small player is going to be, then you find out that they're going to be able to do more than a lot of small players are able to do. You talk about both of these guys. You talk about who they've been compared to, Jose Alvarado. Jose has some limitations, but he's a fierce competitor. Can get others involved when the three ball is falling. He's hot. He's not afraid of contact. He'll fight a 7-footer if it comes to that. Very special young guy, small player. I believe, without knowing for certain, that both of these players that we're covering here right now are a little more naturally gifted than Jose Alvarado. And I will say that saying that I don't think Jose had the same floor that these guys have starting off. Jose at this point developed himself into being a real player. He's playing the NBA Finals. They're not better than Jose today. But when Jose was their age coming out of college, I don't think Jose was as talented as they are at this point. So I think these guys potentially have a higher ceiling than Jose. I think they're a little better than him when it's all said and done, if they get off to the right start. So yeah, I'm high on both of these little guys, and you guys know me, I'm not too high on little players, especially people who are 6'1" or my height, something like that. That's not something that that I'm going to be too excited about a good portion of the time. But these guys have so many different intangibles that they provide a basketball floor to where I think they could both be utilized by NBA teams so long as coaches can live with their deficiencies and their shortcomings physically. Lipsy's going to have to get better shooting the ball. Gillespie's going to have to finish better around the rim. Those are things that I think that they can really do. But they're both not afraid of contact. They're both strong. They're both going to drive. They're both going to shoot. Gillespie's a better shooter. And Lipsy's probably a better driver and a better passer. But they both can do all those things. So, and the 2-point whatever steals that they both bring to the table just make it so that they're going to bust things up defensively no matter what. You can target them all you want. Next thing you know, they're both taking the ball from your team. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan of both of these guys. I don't know where they all fit. I don't think too many teams need guards. I think that's the problem. But for me, I trust these guys to do more for my team than maybe some of these other guards that people like in the second round, man. And that's what it really comes down to. Some of these guys in the second round, some of these guards, they're a little taller than these dudes, but they ain't going to make nobody better. They're not doing anything on the defensive end. And those are two things that I think I would rather have a guy that's 3 inches shorter who's going to do more intangible things to help my unit, who's going to make guys better, especially in second and third units where guys are struggling any damn way. To have a good playmaker on the floor is essential to make your offense flow when your stars sit down. I think these two players, along with a couple of others that we've talked about, Kyle and, who else in the second round? It's a couple of guys who are going to make your team better in that regard. Milos Uzan, I'm not as high on, but he's also a nice passer in this draft. Of course, talk about Braden Smith, fantastic passer in this draft. I feel like you can find cohesiveness in some of these guards in the second round that maybe you're not going to find with some of the other guards in the second round who are rated a bit higher because they shoot the ball well. So that's really what it comes down to. Shooting is important, but I'll take some of those guys before some of the others that people love a lot in this draft. So that's what I want to say, man. High on both of these shorter guys. Get over their size limitations and view them through a lens of, if I have the ability to find a team, a play breaker, somebody who's going to bust up a game, somebody who's going to come in and string off a lot of points real quickly, get a couple of stops where they otherwise would expect not to, and just make an overall second unit better by finding guys in their spots and creating gravity with shooting potentially. That's what these guys do, man. They're going to do a lot of good things on the basketball floor. I hope they make it in the NBA. I'm a fan of both of them. And, that's pretty much what I got to say, man. It's going to be getting it out the mud probably for these guys because of their height. They're going to spend some time in the G League, in the South Bay and all of that or whatever. Coachella, whatever the South Bay changed their name to, Coachella City Lakers. I don't know what the hell we are now. But you get the point. They got to spend some time in the G League, I would imagine. Or maybe have to go overseas and kind of continue their careers there because they're shorter guys. But in those situations, they're going to stand out above a lot of players because they are going to be at a higher level. Then I think that type of competition actually provides them. I think these guys are NBA guys. I really do. So that's pretty much what I got to say. Gillespie, Lipsy, BDF44. I thank y'all for watching.